Hello everyone, I'm Alex Plainsman, and let me tell you a bit about that one time my instructor went a bit too crazy and caused my dad to just never want to fly in the same plane as I am. At least for now, I'm trying to convince him. It happened a few years ago, and I always wanted to impress my instructor. I guess even today I try my hardest, and at the time, I decided to study the phonetic alphabet, and for those who don't know what the phonetic alphabet is, it's basically alpha, beta, well not beta, sorry, alpha, bravo, Charlie, delta, yada yada yada. Those things you see in movies that's really cool. And at the time, I thought, wow, surely with this he will notice my dedication and be proud of me. So when I arrived at the airport and began walking to his airplane, I just did the brilliant decision of saying, oh hey! Are we going to fly on November 621 Delta Lima? And this dude just stared. I mean, he just stared, and he didn't even say anything to me. He just gave me this blank stare. And I just kind of, shrunk down into my little cocoon and just wished I could just reverse back in time and say like, oh, maybe I should have not done that. Not a word was said until we got into the plane. That day, I also asked my dad to join me in the flight, and so he agreed, but little did he know he was going to regret this a few minutes later. Everything else was uneventful. We took off, we went over the city, the ocean, the lakes, yada yada, but then this man just looked at me dead in the eyes. I didn't even know how he looked at me dead in the eyes. I was looking straight into the horizon. This guy somehow found a way to look at me straight into the eyes, dead in my soul, and he said, hey, let's get out of this city. At the time, I didn't think much of it, so I turned the plane on over to the continent, and once we reached the absolute nothing, and I mean nothing, it was nothing. And this guy looked at me again and said, hey, pull the yoke back. I'm like, okay, sure, fine. We're probably gonna do a little bit of like, oh, let's go up, let's stall the plane a wee bit, And as we are going up, he's then said, more. And I'm like, okay, fine, sure, you're the boss, right? And so I pulled it back, and they're like, more! And at this point, we were almost straight vertical. I would almost say it was like 80 degrees, almost 90. And once we were in this extreme angle, the plane was about to stall, was about to like fall out of the sky. This man just decided out of nowhere, grabbed the fuel mixture, and he cut off the power to the plane. Just engine off, engine everything, and to top it all off, he said, let go of everything. Nope, no hands on the pedal, no hands, just let go of everything. The plane went back, and then just the nose dropped, just boom, all the way down, just dropped, and then we just started falling out of the sky, speed coming in very quickly, and as we were falling, this guy is just screaming into my ear like, relax, 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 good lord. Anyhow, once we got dangerously close to the ground, he then told me to slowly pull back on the yoke, and my head was like, finally, we're not about to crash. And we were leveling off, the plane began to slow down, and we just continued on a steady flight back to the airport. Now, remember when I said that my dad was on the plane with me? When we landed, he was white. His body was in the plane, but his soul was left in the air somewhere else. I have no idea where it is. And then he got out, shaking, trembling out of his entire body, and looked at me in the eye and said,
I am never flying with you again.
And that's the story of when my dad decided, hey, let's not fly together again. Let's just not do that again. Oh boy.